Hi, I'm Donna. Welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to cover how to make the ultimate pom-pom. Tip number 1. Use a pom-pom maker. You can use your hands or templates or other various methods. However, I do find that you get most consistent results using a pom-pom maker, and they are only a few pounds for a set of 3. So I really do think if you're going to be making lots of pom-poms, they are worth the investment. To use them, we take the 2 pieces of the pom-pom maker, and they have these little dimples which go against the holes on the opposite side. And it's a little bit fiddly at first. You have to hold it in place, and then you get your yarn, and once you start wrapping, it holds itself together. So we hold the yarn in place, and then we start to wrap. Tip number 2 is wrap more than you think. So once you've filled it up and you think, actually that looks quite full, I'd wrap it another few times. You want to be covering this in a substantial layer of yarn to make the fullest pom-pom. So we're only halfway there at the moment. So once we've done that, we will then switch to the other side, which I do by just putting it across and then continuing to wrap on the other side. So we secure it in place. You don't want to wrap excessively tightly, but you don't want it to be so loose that it's falling off either. You want to make sure you've got about the same amount of yarn on both sides to keep your pom-pom shape even. That looks about even. So then what we do is we flip these little catches, and that locks it in place. And then we can trim the yarn off. Then we take another piece of yarn, around 30 centimetres long, and put that to one side because we're going to need that in a second. Then, between the gaps in the pom-pom maker, you slice all the way around. So we just slip all the way around in the gap between the 2 pom-pom maker halves. It's nice and easy using the pom-pom maker. So we carefully hold it in place. The clips will mostly keep it secure, but just treat it a little bit gently and you'll find there's your pom-pom. So without pulling the 2 sides apart, we take the piece of yarn and we thread it through the gap, bring it up, and then we just initially tie a single knot to secure it. Now don't pull too tight because you will snap the thread. So tip number 3 is that you knot, and then I wrap one more time, I flip it and wrap it again and tie again. I always find that it gets a bit tighter on the second knot, so it keeps it that much more secure, and then we knot it one more time to secure it. And then we can remove the pom-pom maker. I gently take off one side of the pom-pom maker, and then I hold that in my hand before removing the other side, so that where that string is tied, we are holding all of the other side of the pom-pom. Now I find by doing this, the pom-pom maker gives you a really nice domed edge anyway, but by squeezing all the fibres together, it's easy to see which ones are not even, and you can just quickly trim off any that look out of place. It's a much easier way of getting a nice even looking pom-pom. So just give it a little fluff up, make sure we're getting all the bits. We want to keep that domed shape. We're literally just taking any that are a bit taller than the others off. we've done that side, we can flip it and do the other side. Watch the long string. So this side's got a few more that are not quite as even, but it's still not bad. It hasn't got to be perfect because we are going to fluff it up some more, in which case it may need a little bit more trimming later. So just a really quick cut to even it up. And then when we open it up, we can fluff it up to hide the gaps. And they have a nice fluffy pom-pom, nice and full and even. Now you can either use this pom-pom as it is, or if you would like an extra fluffy pom-pom that looks like fur, what you can do is, tip number 5, is to use a slicker brush to gently pull on the edges of the fibres to fluff the edges up. Now this is just basic acrylic yarn, it's double knit, nothing special, just the cheapest store-bought yarn, it's nothing fancy, but when you brush it gently with this, it makes it look like fur, and it feels much softer as well. So if I just quickly, you don't want to go all the way to the base of the fibres because you don't want to completely destroy the shape of the fibres, but you are literally just fluffing up the ends of the fibres. So we'll just have a quick go all the way around. Just the ends, and fluffing up the ends of the cut pieces of yarn. We don't want to be pulling too hard because we don't want to pull the whole thing apart. But you'll see, just a quick brush. You will get some build up of the yarn in the brush. If you're doing lots of pom-poms, you could always save that. If you do other crafts that need a bit of stuffing, or small crafts that need stuffing, you could keep it and use that in there to save the waste. But as you can see, by doing this, it makes it much fluffier, and it feels really soft and fluffy. Now if you wanted to, you can give it one more last trim, but I'm quite happy with that as it is. This is lovely and fluffy, feels really nice. It'd look really nice on a hat, or you can make a garland of these in different colours. That would look really nice as well. And it just doesn't look like yarn anymore, so it just looks like a nice firm pom-pom. So you can either brush it out and make it look fluffy, or you could not brush it out and you can leave it with the more textured edge. So there you go. Hope this is helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.